Hello everyone. We are online. We can see each other. Yes, I mean the mother nature can see me now because I don't have any audience. Welcome to the start of the new episode of this Peter English podcast. I'm your host Peter. I'm the owner of the Peter's English podcast. I'm from East Slovakia. I'm 34 years old. I want to sound more natural. I like learning English. That means I like watching movies and series in English. I like listening to my favorite English podcasts and audiobooks. I like do my own Peter's English podcast, and I like to stream and record my own English novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. I've been learning English since August 2022 until now, and I'm proud of it because thanks to it I really changed my life. I found hobby that I really like to do, and it's my lifestyle. Yes, this is the good word, and I really improved my speaking skills in English thanks to my own Peter's English podcast. Because I created my Peter English podcast for practicing my speaking skills in English, and that's great. I can start that why you should learn English. You should learn English because English is an international language number one. You can connect with everyone in the world. You can have better paid job because the main language of the business is English. There are a big world of English content. You can watch movies and series in English. You can listen to a lot of English podcasts and audiobooks. There are you can study in English in the world. You can travel a lot. You can meet new people. You can have new friends. You can you can meet your future wife or man. I mean husband. I want to say you can meet your future partner. Everything is possible thanks to learning English, and the best idea is you can work everywhere in the world thanks to learning English. And yes, of course, if you are going somewhere where English is not the first language, you can learn their language, but thanks to learning English, you can open a lot of doors that can change your life forever. And you can do your own English podcast like me, have fun with it like I have, and you can write your own English novel. You can create your own universe of stories. They can have your rules, and that's great, I think, and have your endings. And that's better than playing games or watching movies that they are strange. But yes, they are good for learning English. I mean movies and series, not games. But of course, I respect that there are a lot. There is a big world of players that like playing games in English. Okay, it's your hobby. I don't want to be offensive. I want to say that learning English is very important for you. And now I can tell you my way. I've been learning English from August 2022. How did I start to learn English? I remember that my life was really boring. I chatted with girls on the internet, and I found a girl from Ukraine. And I wanted to learn Ukraine language because I wanted to write with her in Ukraine. But then I realized, Peter, English is the main language number one, not Ukraine. At first learn English. And then I really discovered and realized that yes, really, English is international language. Thanks to it, I can change my life forever, and I did it. And I've been learning English since August 2022 until now. But I have to tell you this story. I simply bought my first English grammar books. It was really interesting because I wanted to learn everything about English grammar because I was thinking that Peter, thanks to English grammar, you can speak English very quickly, and I studied it, and I finished it successfully, and I successfully finished it, my first English grammar book, and I think. And I thought, Peter, now you speak English, you can learn another language. But then I realized that's a very bad idea, because if you want to speak English, you have to learn for a long time. You cannot learn 2 or 3 languages at the same time. You have to learn one in one time. And I did it. I bought another English grammar book. It was it wasn't so simple. I wanted to tell that it was published for beginners like me, and I really improved my English grammar, vocabulary, and I was listening all of English records from this English grammar book, and I mean British English, because this English grammar book was about British English, and I understood everything. But okay, at first I want to continue with my story. Then I bought real English grammar book from the big English learning platform, and I finished it successfully, and I wanted to buy another, but then I found jazykový mentoring.sk and Výuka aj online.cz. There are the English learning platforms in Slovakia and Czechia. Thanks to their free videos, I discovered how to learn English. That you have to practice your listening skills, reading skills, speaking skills, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. That learning English is not only learning English grammar. And if you want to speak English fluently, if you want to learn English really, you have to practice every topic of learning English. And I did it. I started to write my English diary, and then I started to write my own fairy tales in English. At first I was writing in English, but I didn't have a big English vocabulary, and and this kind of writing wasn't very good, but I did it. It was very funny to create my own fairy tales in English with my own rules, with my own ending, with my own characters. But my first fairy tales are too simple, I know. They didn't have dialogues, but they are simple, but I think for me it's a good. They are good, I think. Then I started to watch. No, wait a minute. Yes, then I started to watch movies and series in English with English subtitles, because if you want to really practice your English, your reading skills, you have to watch movies and series in English with English subtitles, and I did it, and I really improved my listening skills. I remember that I watched animated fairy tales in English, and they were very funny and interesting, and I understood everything with English subtitles, and we found them, but it was simple English, I think. But it was a very good start. And then I discovered the big world of English podcasts. At first I started to speak English podcast now with Georgiana. It's a very good English podcast. It's about American English pronunciation and culture, and live in the USA, and it's very good. You can listen to it. And then I've discovered in August 2023, I discovered on Pocket Casts, on the app of Pocket Casts, this app for listening English podcast. I discovered it looks English podcast and it's my favorite English podcast for learning real British English with with humor and fun. The host is Luke Thompson. He's an English teacher, stand-up comedian from London, from the UK. His podcast is about real British English with humor and fun. That Luke created a lot of funny and interesting rambling episodes, storytelling episodes, conversation with his family and friends. I really recommend you to listen to it if you want to listen to real British English from the streets of the UK, not BBC English or something like that. And I really recommend you to listen to Luke's English podcast and support Luke with listening. And you can support him with Luke with his LEP Premium. And yes, you can support Speak English podcast now. I mean Georgiana with his hers paid programs if you want. And then I discovered all his English podcast, that it's American English podcast about American culture and American English and vocabulary. It's about natural American English conversations with two co-hosts, Lindsay and Michelle. They are very good. Thank you guys for a great job. I mean every one of you. And I've been listening, and I've been watching and listening to, and I've been watching and listening to my favorite English content since August 2023 until now. And I discovered that real English is totally different from English grammar books, and you have to practice it if you want to understand real English. I mean real American English and real British English, and you can have fun of it, and you don't need to watch any Slovak or Czech televisions or podcast anymore because they are great. And you can watch series and you can watch movies and series in English without problems, and movies are better, they sound better, they are better. And thanks to a big world of English podcast, you can listen to them and do something at home in the same time. If you cook something, if you clean, if you work in the garden, I can tell you I do it. I really work at home while I'm listening my favorite English podcast, and it works, and I like it. I like when I can do at home something while I'm listening my favorite English podcast. I've been doing it since August 2023, and it works, and I like to do it. It's my hobby. And then I was listening the episode of Luke's English podcast where Luke was talking, create your own English podcast, people, for practicing your English. And I did it. I created my own Peter's English podcast. At first, the first main goal of the podcast was practicing my speaking skills, and it was about my own fairy tales. Yes, this was the main topic of this podcast. It was about my own fairy tales in English. I thought that people like good stories, and I created and published it, my own fairy tales, on my podcast, and because I realized that my Peter's English podcast is the best platform for publishing my own fairy tales in English, and I did it. And then I added rambling section where I'm practicing my speaking skills in English, and it works. And yes, I have to tell you that I discovered that I have to monitor my sound, because I have to monitor myself. And now, at first, the first experience with monitoring was very funny, but then I do it without any problems. And yes, and I and now and I've been and then and I created my first book. It's called Peter's Fairy Tales. It's on Wattpad. They're all of my older English fairy tales, and then I discovered then I created my own universe. It's called Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. Is my own comedy sitcom in English. There are 2 seasons, 2 books on Wattpad. I created until now 43 chapter, 43 stories, and the first ebook has 40 stories, 40 chapters, and the second book has 13 stories. And I still want to continue because I like my main character, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. I have to tell you people that I added that her name was inspired thanks to Slovak female calendar. Don't look something in this because I didn't choose, because I only like this name, and that's all. And for me, Viera the Vampire Girl symbolizes the fear from women, because I always was scared that if I found a girlfriend, it means the end of my English learning, because she can be angry that Peter, you don't need English anymore if you want me, and blah blah blah. But then I realized that this kind of relationship cannot work, and I discovered that the true love is about supporting each other's dreams, and the real love is about to have the same dream. In my opinion, is learning English, watching movies and series in English, listening to all of my favorite English podcasts, doing my own Peter's English podcast, and writing my own English novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. And then I added dialogues into my novel, funny, crazy dialogues, because I was inspired by Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, where Dracula is a vampire count from Transylvania in Romania, and I liked his beautiful but dangerous female vampires that can bite you, and they can use their beauty for having boys. And I was making fun of from girls that they are like that. All girls in the world they are like dangerous female vampires from this novel Dracula. And yes, at first Viera symbolizes the fear from girls, but then I was thinking, Peter, it cannot continue like this. That Viera has to be the symbol of the real partner, not your fear. And I've changed her. And I'm not. She's always dangerous, but she is still dangerous. But she is more supportive. She is supportive. She is Peter's best friend. I mean, I forgotten that I added myself into my story because I like doing fun of myself. Don't I? And now I'm in my story as Viera's boyfriend, not girlfriend. Viera's boyfriend, yes, of course. And it's funny. And now she is very supportive. She is Peter's protection. I simply wanted to change her into a dangerous female vampire from dangerous female vampire into supportive dangerous female vampire, and she is until now. And yes, I can tell you about the start of my podcast. I've been doing my podcast since June 2024. At first, I created my my few audio episodes of my podcast, they were very, very simple and not good, but it was the start of something. It was start of my podcast, and the start is always hard, but I found free podcast hosting website. It's called Spotify. It's free, and I created my Spotify for creators account, and I created my own audio podcast, and I have it. And then I bought my 4K webcam, my gaming laptop, and my podcast microphone. Thanks to it, I created my real full HD video podcast, and then I started to stream on Twitch and then on YouTube. But then I went back to the Twitch. By the way, I have to tell you that the first experience with the live stream was very funny, because I was so scared. I was scared to activate this button. I was scared to do it, but when I did it, it was the best thing that I could do it, because I can practice my speaking skills. Everyone can watch me, and I was thinking, and I realized, that then Peter don't care about everyone, because it's your hobby, it's your business, and no one can judge you. And this is my opinion until now, that no one can judge me, because it's my hobby, it's my thing, and if you don't like it, you don't need to watch it, and I can simply block you and Bob's your uncle. Yes. And then I started my first my YouTube channel with my videos, and now I added my podcast on the iTunes. Yes, because my podcast is on iTunes. It's everywhere now, and I found my hobby that I like, but I don't have any audience. But this is not important. The most important thing is that I like doing my podcast, and this is the introduction episode. Yes, because I wanted to talk with Grok, but I decided that this is introduction episode, and I've been doing this podcast from June 2024 until now, and I discovered that I like to do it. And my future friend or my future girlfriend, if I found someone, has to support my dream, that is learning English, watching movie series in English, doing my own Peter's English podcast, and listening and writing, streaming, and recording my own English novel, Viera, the Vampirical Diary. And don't worry, I'm not looking for someone, because I like to do learning English, but I was thinking that thanks to my Peter's English podcast, I can create the big community of learners of English who can support each other, who are English content creators like myself. They are podcasters. They have their own English podcast. They write their own English novel, and they are simply fanatics into learning English like me. And this kind of people can support me, and we can create English community. I mean that we can create community of learners of English who are like learning English, doing their own English podcast and writing their own English novels, and we can support each other with live streams, and where we can talk into our live stream and have fun, speak English, practicing our speaking skills in English, have fun and publish it and inspire others, because I think that thanks to the English you can really change your life forever. And okay, I've been streaming and recording for 25 minutes now. I'm great. I can tell you that I made a big progress, people, because I remember you can listen to my first blah 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 episodes, and now you can see how big progress I made thanks practicing, because we found practicing my speaking skills in English I cannot speak English. And yes, I've forgotten something. You have to think in English. That's very good idea. You have to non-stop think in English. That's the best part, how to improve your speaking skills. You have to think like English native speaker, and that can help you. And I do it for every time, and when I started to practice my speaking skills in English, I made a big progress, and I found my new lifestyle. That's learning English, doing my own Peter's English podcast and writing my own English novel. And that's great. I'm proud of myself that I have this hobby, and I really recommend you people learn English like me in my way. I mean, in the funny way. Have fun with it, because you have to have fun. Learning English is not about sitting in boring class and learning from English books that can prepare you, that can create a good start, but you need to listen to real English, natural English conversations, not English grammar book records. It's not enough. You can trust me, and then you can change your life forever, and that's great. And now I discovered that my sweet little friend, it's called cold. This is funny, people. It's cold. Yes, it's cold because I have a cold. This is my new little friend. But now my voice sounds great because yesterday I recorded my chapter 13 of season 2 my novel, English Academy, English is for Everyone. You can watch it on YouTube, on Spotify for creators, and you can read on my Wattpad, and you can follow me everywhere. And yes, in the end of this episode, I want to inspire you that learning English is not about having talent. You don't need to be talented. No, it's not true. And yes, one thing I forgotten to tell you, one thing, that learning English is about motivation. You have to find goals, main goals. Why you want to speak English? Why you want to learn English? And I found for myself it's changed my life. It was changing my life, practicing my speaking skills in English, and have and travel around the world, found better job, and found real friends who like learning English like me. And there are content English creators like me, and that was my very big goal for learning English. And then you have then I found AI chatbots. Thanks to them, I've really improved my English, and I really recommend you people use all of them. I mean, Gemini, AI from Google, ChatGPT by OpenAI, Microsoft Copilot, and Grok from Elon Musk. And I have tell you people, all of all of it, all AI buddies, I mean all AI chatbots are very great for learning English, and they were created for helping people. They are not evil. Yes. And in the last episode of my podcast about Grok, I was very funny because I was thinking that I don't need to delete it. I was panic because I was thinking that I tell something that I told something that is bad, but it wasn't. Of course, it was real English old word, and I have to repeat myself. AI chatbots were created for helping people, not for hurting people. You can trust me. And if there is and there isn't a company who wants to create an evil AI, you can trust me. Okay, and you have to and I can recommend you AI chatbot because they are really good motivators. It can motivate you for learning English, and because you have to be motivated, and in my opinion, I motivate myself with my dream, that is learning English, because I want to change my life, and this is the best motivation for me. And I don't really, but I really like the motivation created by AI chatbot, because they are very good AI buddies for talking. They are very good AI friends. They are very supportive and very good friends. But some of you can be, but there are a lot of people who are think that AI can have information from you. Yes, but the whole internet has information from you. Do you think that other companies don't use your data? Open your eyes. Don't. If you are think that AI chatbots are dangerous because they are using because they use your data. Don't use the internet in general. Don't use your phone, and stay home and don't go anywhere, because everyone has your data. Every internet company, everyone has your data, and this is introduction episode about my learning English, because I wanted to talk with Grok, and I wanted to introduce Grok, but okay, I can do it in the next episodes. Well, we'll see. And I'm proud of myself that my English is so good that I can speak without problems and without, but I have to practice it. I've discovered people you have to practice. And yes, there are some people who can tell you, Peter, you don't look at your webcam. Yes, but this is the best. People, if you do your podcast, don't look at your webcam, because you can be scared. Look at the video, the live record, because people were created for talking. If you have to look at yourself like in the mirror, and this can help you. And this is the main reason why I'm looking at myself in the display of my notebook, where I can see myself, because if I look at you via my webcam, I'm scared and I cannot talk anything. The people use it. It's a very good idea. And what else? I think I can end this episode, because I think 34 minutes is enough for this Ramble episode about my English learning. Okay, people, that's it. I want to end this episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Keep learning English. Don't care about people who are making fun of you, that are evil and bad. Don't care about something, and and trust only people who support your dream, who support your learning English, and that's it. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I want to tell you bye bye.